the worst out of the big three, I reckon. I've had a few days off to kind of crack on with this a bit, and have done a lot, but you can't really see it. I've gone over the whole car with a wire wheel and all sorts, hence that. But it should be the last of that kind of stuff now. And then I had to get the heavies in last night to help me scotch a load of it, the bottom of it. So I managed to get through, done half a box of Scotch-Brite so far. All I've got left is I just need to key up the cage, the inside and the boot. So I'll do that quickly now, and then after that we'll build the screen and stuff. There's a few bits I don't know whether to go over. When you go over things with Scotch and you're looking at every single bit, a few bits show up, like little holes that I might want to weld, and I don't know whether to do it or not. Maybe I'll scotch the rest, see how I feel at the end of that, and then decide. Welcome to the list. It is what you think it is, but it's also a whiteboard, so that's alright, isn't it? There was stuff before this, but this is the let's book a load of time off work and get the car painted list. It's nice having a list because you can kind of see that you're actually doing something, whereas if you're just wire brushing a car for 3 days, it gets pretty mentally tough. So we've just got to finish this bit, which is just scotching it, and then we can get to the fun stuff. I think it's the fun stuff. Having all the stuff in the other videos, I've done weldy stuff before and all that kind of fabrication, but I've never really painted anything before. Someone gave me a paint gun full of paint once, and I sprayed the back of my 205 in the engine bay, and that turned out right. And we did that outside in the rain, so I mean, this is inside. Imagine how good it's going to look. Hopefully you can kind of tell that it already looks a lot cleaner. All of this is wire brushed anyway. I really went over everything properly, but the bottom looks really good because we've done that. See? Right then, classroom. It's good this. I'm enjoying this whiteboard. We're halfway through by the look of it, aren't we? It's taken 3.5 days to get this far through, but so standard thinners all over. I think I meant panel white when I wrote that. I think I might do the panel white twice. So I'll have a clear up and get as much dust off the floor as possible. Then I'll panel wipe. Then I'll sheet up the unit, and then I'll panel wipe again. Problem is, next door just make dust, so I've got to be really careful not to get. It's just the inside of a car, isn't it? It'll be alright. Right, I'm ready to sheet up. I've had a sweep and I've had a tidy, and then I've stressed out loads. There's not much ventilation in this unit, so I'm trying the best I can. But I think if I wear one of these, then I won't die. So I was putting an old K&N 57i cold air induction on the compressor, put all the right fittings on, powered it up, and then realised that the mast needs 4 bar, but the gun needs 2 bar. So then I need to get a little reg for the gun. But luckily I've sorted that out, so I need to go and pick that up in a bit. I thought what I'd do is I'd try and get a couple of sheets up, and then I'll just cool it and go and get this little regulator. Right, let's get a couple of sheets up. It'll make me feel good. we're all sheeted up. I think the ceiling's the bit I was worried about most. Other stuff coming over. I hoovered everything. I don't want to sweep because it'll make stuff go up. We're getting close. Just need to finish going over it with panel wipe, mask up all of the painted bits that I don't want to repaint, and then I think I'll probably go home then. Like going home. I think the seal's good on the spray booth because I'm absolutely flying. I had to go and stand outside for about 20 minutes. I'm going to bring a fan down tomorrow and point it out the door so it kind of pulls everything out. Don't know if I can wipe down a whole car again. Jesus Christ. Look, I've got the blue tape because whenever you see professionals do it, they always have blue tape on things, don't they? So I thought, well, if I get that, I'll have a better shot. Got to remember where I'm painting. I know where I am at the moment. Right, if this gets any more interesting, I promise I'll hit record again, but just looks like I'm going to be putting tape on for a few hours. Day 20, it's all getting a bit real now. Pulled this over last week, so I got the masking, the edges done, and then pulled this big sheet over with my mate last night. It was a bit of a moment actually, but the GoPro ran out of batteries, so you just have to imagine it. It did look quite cool. So now apparently what I do is I hold this sheet against where my blue tape is, cut around it with a knife, and then stick it back on top of the blue tape. Getting a bit anxious about all of this. Professional look. Top Gun sheet, you're my eyes goose, and blue tape. It's got to turn out well, hasn't it? Right, panel wiping's done. I think the extractor's working a little bit because I don't feel as wonky as I did last time. This is the gun that I'm using. It's my mate's. I don't know what it is, so if you want one, get it off him. I haven't really changed anything. I had to put a different fitting on. It's not hard, is it? It's a 1.7mm needle. You put paint in the top here, and then you put air in the bottom here, and I think when you squeeze it, comes out. These knobs do different things. I think one of them's paint amount, one of them's fan amount, and one of them's air, but I don't know which is which. I'm guessing that's air, maybe that's fan. One of these will be fan and one will be paint, won't it? So I'm going to put a bit of brown paper up and test it on there, and then whichever one makes the fan change, that's the fan one. Oh, I've got something else for this as well. I don't know where it is, but it's pretty critical to the whole operation. So I had to drive all the way home to get this. I bought it here yesterday or the day before, and then took it home. Oh. So this chap needs to go on here. We'll pop him on there quick. There we go, not two in the way. Lovely job, mate. I think this is the paint restriction, because all it's doing is limiting how far the trigger can go back. Anyway, do you want to see what paint I'm using? I couldn't gauge what's legal and what isn't. Usually if you Google something, if it is illegal, it comes up fairly quickly, doesn't it? Like if you Google, am I allowed to kill people? I'm pretty sure that would come up with probably a few Netflix documentaries, and then no. But if you Google about painting, there's environmental things, isn't there? If you're a business, but if you're not a business, there's not. And a lot of these paints say professional use only. I'm a professional, I just have a different profession. So, anyway, for the sake of this video, I thought I'd use Dulux Quick Dry Satin Wood on all layers. Primer, top coat, the whole lot. If I wasn't using that, I'd probably use U-Pol Raptor epoxy primer first, for say 2 coats or something. And then on the bottom, I reckon I'd probably use some of this Octarol surfacer, so I've got a nice thick protective layer. I don't want like any shoots or whatever it is on the bottom, because it's just track car really. I don't want that, or a load of, I don't want it. And then for the top coat, if I wasn't using the Dulux, and if I was a professional doing this, I'd probably use non-compliant 2K. Hence the mask, if I was to be spraying that. Yeah. So that's the vibe. Pretty cool, right?
It's just Dulux for satin wood. It's nothing to worry about. Use it on things like skirting boards at home and stuff like that. It's a bit greyer than it was when I was using it at home, but I hope this is alright, Gary. I haven't got a gun holder for your gun, so good for getting rid of cat hairs, this. Do you want to come through?
Okay, so a few bits have happened. The gun that I borrowed off a mate has just been leaking constantly, and it's to the point where like it all comes out the where the trigger is, and it was just like making runs everywhere, because it would end up getting like blobs that would spray onto the car, or you'd be like going over somewhere and it'd be dripping down onto some bits of bodywork below. It's like absolute nightmare with it. And then I had made a phone call and took the gun apart, and it's missing like a collet thing. So luckily I went down the road to a mate's workshop and borrowed 2 guns off him. One that will be for top coat and one that will be for doing the second coat of primer. For all the moaning, it's not too bad. At least it's one colour, huh? Like, it's nice to have something painted. I mean, most of it's alright. So I did the boot, the back, the underneath, and all of the engine bay. I didn't want to do inside because I don't. The bottom doesn't obviously matter too much if you've got an odd run here and there. It's just I want the inside to be done well. So I didn't want to climb in there with a gun and start dripping it onto everywhere and just make a job that I'm not really happy with. So I know it's not going to be perfect because I don't know how to paint cars, but it'd be nice to be as good as I can. Looks alright, doesn't it? I mean, this is a classic one. You see that blob there? That dripped off the gun. That didn't do anything that wasn't just too much paint, it's just a drop on, so. What have we covered and what haven't we covered? It's been a stressful few days, I can't really remember what's going on. So I was painting with one gun, that started to leak everywhere, found out it was missing parts. So I went round my mates, borrowed a couple of other guns, one that will do the top coat and the other one that I carried on doing primer with. I started going at it, but it still was a bit weird. Luckily, he popped by, that you'll probably see in the video, and just helped me with the setup. And as soon as I got the gun set up, it was absolutely fine. So I did the whole interior, didn't get any runs in the interior at all, and it came out looking pretty good. I actually started to enjoy it once I was told how to actually paint something. Made a big difference just setting things up. So that's good. And then I come back today to put the second coat on the interior, which you just seen. I'm having major problems with the compressor. It's not even keeping up with a gun. It's just at the end of its life, so I'm gonna get a new one, because that's not actually mine, and it's nice to have your own compressor anyway. So I need to pick that up, so when I'm using the Dulux with nasty stuff in, I can have the air-fed mask. Do you want to have a look? Let's go in there and have a quick look. I'm happy. It's good. I've got to put the surfacer on the bottom, but I really want to sort the compressor out before I do that. And because I didn't do very well and got some runs in the first bit, I do need to go and flat those back before I put the surfacer on. Otherwise, it'll flat back to the this Dulux issue. Not doing very well with this continuity stuff, am I? Right, in the next one, we'll have an exciting new compressor turn up, and then we'll spray everything the final colour. It's so good to see it just one colour anyway, even though it's a bit Nardo grey, and I'm not really into the old Nardo grey stealth life. Sorry it took so long. I did put another episode out, so if you missed that, it's the one before. There was loads of bits that I needed to finish off. Oh, and like and subscribe if you put up with the wait and you enjoyed it. All helps. Every little, I don't know what's helping. It helps something, I guess, doesn't it?